Just fit it. Chief is right there. Chief is right there. Chief, you're right here.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to see you all here and to be with you as we here at Ontario's Ministry of Mines under the leadership of Minister Stephen Lecce bring you an exciting new update on how we are strengthening Ontario's energy grid. And I also want to begin by acknowledging some of the really exciting and just special guests who are joining us today. We have Chief Dolores Kakigamak from Sandy Lake First Nations, Chief Leonard Mawakisik, and Chief Brandon Ray from North Spirit Lake. I want to thank you and acknowledge the leadership that they've shown. I also want to acknowledge the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Energy and Mines, as well as the other Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Energy and Mines. Both David Smith and Rudy Cazzetto have been absolute champions working on this file for years and have been demonstrating leadership, and I want to thank them both for their hard work. And of course, acknowledge the Minister of Northern Affairs for his incredible leadership and heritage. He has been someone who this morning already, Northern Economic Development, has been just a absolute champion for the North in many different ways, and also for the mining community. And we heard that this morning at the Meet the Miners event. So thank you, Minister Peary, for your leadership. And Minister Rickford, Minister for Indigenous Affairs and connecting the Ring of Fire to our great province, is someone who has been absolutely demonstrating on every single file that he's worked on a tenacity, a leadership that is truly inspiring and someone I look up to deeply. Everyone knows that Premier Ford and our entire government have been laser focused on ensuring that Ontario's economy remains resilient and competitive in the face of uncertain economic times. And one of the best ways we can do that, one of the best ways we can work to ensure that we build up the strongest economy in the G7 is by ensuring that our mining sector is supported. Strengthening Ontario's energy grid is absolutely foundational to building a strong and secure economy, but knowing that requires using our diverse, world-renowned energy supply as well. As more people, businesses, and industries choose Ontario as the best place to live and work, we're committed to delivering a framework that supports that growth, not just for today, but for generations to come. Our integrated energy plan, the Energy for Generations plan, is one that ends delays. It promotes competitiveness, attracts investment, respects consultation, and takes an all-of-the-above forward-looking approach. But in the process, we're committed to creating an environment for tens of thousands of new good-paying jobs that will be created right across this province. And it means making sure that the people and industries of Ontario remain resilient, self-reliant, and secure come what may. That's Minister Lecce's focus, and it's our focus. It's why we're protecting our people, protecting our industries, and protecting our province. So before Minister Lecce comes up to share the news about this exciting new initiative that we're building on this work, I would like to welcome Chief Leonard from Deer Lake First Nation to the podium to share a few words. Thank you, Chief.
Nsta muzak jina nakhumach mandu muzak nikchaham ekdad bandu muzak acknowledge and migos jina kha mandu magab. So I said, first and foremost, we always thank the Creator for today and being blessed to be here and have the opportunity to address everybody. So I want to thank Minister Lecce and the Frontier for letting me come and say a few words on behalf of Deer Lake First Nation. I also want to recognize Chief Dolores Kakigamak, and he had a few of her councillors with her, and North Spirit, along with a few of his councillors as well, are here. So, Migach, for all coming. So I stand like Pizan. I come from Deer Lake. I represent Deer Lake. You know, that's the Newmark people. I don't know how many people know where Deer Lake is. You know, a lot of people probably can't find it in a map. But you know, my land is beautiful. I always tell my councillors, my people, beautiful lands, beautiful beaches, the lands and the rivers that sustain my people. To live off the land. So we have a history and identity with that. So I wanted to, the next part is regarding the IP1, and there was a PAC project that has moved ahead. My main focus here is to come tell the nations and the minister and Frontier that the nations and the leaders must be part of the process and decision-making to make sure our traditional values and our lands are protected, My elder said, go. I asked for their blessing to come today and tell the government to make sure that we are part of the process. So, and part of being here does not mean we support the government. We don't support the project. We're not. We just want to make sure we're part of the process. So that's my main goal here. Telling my other chiefs, my other nations, to sit together with the government and the ministers and everybody involved. So I wanted to mention something. Trying to reflect what I can reflect on. The only thing I can think of was Musselwhite Mine. Right, there's 4 nations there that had to come together. There must have been a lot of deep discussions and dialogue with the chiefs and the mining and with the projects. And that's what I want to see with our people. I want to see that with our leaders, right? Make sure everything, our traditional values and land is protected. So that's my main message today. Very good.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. It's an honor to be here with you all. I want to welcome everyone to this really important historic announcement. And I do want to just take a moment to acknowledge, in addition to our parliamentary colleagues, Rudy Cazzetto, David Smith, Ministers George Prairie, and Greg Rickford, I did want to give, of course, a special acknowledgement of gratitude to the Chief for your leadership, to the chiefs who are with us and their councillors. Thank you so much for your collaboration. I want to thank Trevor Walker, the President and CEO of Frontier Lithium. Thank you for having confidence in this province and country. I want to thank Dave Turple, the President of the International Union of Operating Engineers. As I assured him and the awesome workers behind us, there is so much work to go around as we build our country strong. Now, we are here to make history. We're here to advance the one project, one process vision. Only weeks ago, we codified it into law. We are moving with an element of speed. This week, perhaps the most compelling example of the necessity for this country to be self-reliant, that we need not depend on anyone but ourselves to build a strong, clean energy economy. And this project, it reduces permit timelines by 50%. It makes us among the fastest, among the best. And I think that is the message we want to deliver to the country and the world. We can work together in partnership for the benefit of our local communities, for the benefit of Indigenous communities, for the benefit of our country when we're up against a war with President Trump. And so, today, we are advancing that vision of self-reliance. We are really putting ourselves in the driver's seat of our future economic prosperity by announcing that Frontier Lithium and their PAC Lithium project will be the first project designated under the One Project, One Process vision. This is a project that is going to deliver the first among the first Canadian fully integrated lithium operations. It will be North America's highest grade lithium resource. It stands as the largest lithium project at this scale in the province of Ontario, and it will include a mine, a mill, and downstream conversion facilities downstream in Thunder Bay, creating value-added jobs in this province. And this is such an important milestone for the people of Canada and Ontario, and of course for the territorial right holders. We're talking about an industry that's adding $13 billion to the economy, that's helping to create tens of thousands of jobs. And what I am so excited about this project, it will be aligned with a lithium processing refinery in Thunder Bay, the first lithium hydroxide conversion plant on the continent. This is meaningful. And I know an issue that is close to the heart of Minister Prairie, because of our vision for all of us in this government is to repatriate jobs and processing back to this country. We want to end the ripping and shipping of Canadian resources only for America or Europe or some other nation to get the value-added gains to their economy. We can do it here with the best workers. Some of them are represented behind us today. These people are the most productive and committed. We stand from the most democratic, ethical nation on earth. We can do it better. And that's the message we want the world to hear, in partnership with the chiefs, with the nations, with Lithium, and the communities that are going to benefit from this massive expansion. And be under no illusion, the Chinese, also the Australians, but the Chinese play a massive role in dominating the lithium processing industry of the world. We've got to decouple dependence from regimes like that, because we believe, as Canadians in democracy and freedom and the rule of law. And that's what this is about, ethical resources built by Canadians for Canadians. And that's why I'm honored to be here today to celebrate progress, meaningful progress in partnership. But we're not just ending it there. We are also making a commitment to the North. I've heard this from George, I've heard this from Greg. The North needs more power. In fact, Northern Ontario is estimating an 81% demand forecast. That is higher than Southern Ontario, for context. You need more power. And your government and Premier is so committed to making sure we move the power. We generate more in the North, led by Indigenous communities, yes, including hydroelectric power, which we are authorizing for the first time in a decade. But more than that, it's about making sure we have transmission capacity. Right now, in your community, I think of the Red Lake community in that region, they have forecasted to grow the amount of energy demand by as much as 750 megawatts. For context, folks, that's like power for 750,000 homes. So we need to work with speed and, frankly, with an element of synergy between what we're doing in energy and mines, bringing it all together for the benefit of the future of our economy. And that's why part of our recognition that we need to build for the future is that this government is proud to announce that we have an intention to accelerate and to build a new transmission infrastructure project in northwestern Ontario to support the Red Lake District in partnership with First Nation communities who will lead this project, as we have always done, with 50-50 equity partnership on the table. That is a massive. We're talking about over $800 million of transmission investment in the North. Canadian jobs, Canadian workers, Canadian energy, clean energy that we need now more than ever. So today we're really thinking holistically: power, workforce, minerals, refinery, extraction, economic reconciliation, support for the resource economy that matters so much to our country and to our identity as Canadians. So let's be proud of our country. Let's recognize in partnership we can do amazing things, and we can move at scale and speed that I know Canadians demand. And let me just reaffirm today how honored I am to do this project in partnership and any future project with Indigenous nations. Their voices, their priorities are most consequential to our Premier and government. And I want to recognize that just this morning, more progress was made when it comes to moving together for the benefit of Canada. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you all. And will you welcome the man who had the vision and the confidence in this province, and that is the CEO and President of Frontier Lithium, Trevor Walker. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today marks a defining moment, not just for Frontier Lithium, but for Ontario's entire critical mineral sector. We're honored that the PAC Lithium project has been selected as the first under the province's One Project, One Process framework, a transformative initiative by Minister Lecce and the Government of Ontario to modernize and streamline permitting for advanced mineral development. Importantly, this framework recognizes the importance of Indigenous communities and is inclusive of Indigenous rights and input into projects like ours. I'd like to recognize and thank the representatives and leadership from Deer Lake First Nation. Thank you, Chief Leonard. Chief Dolores from Sandy Lake First Nation, Chief Brandon Ray from North Spirit, First Nation, who've all traveled over 1,400 kilometers to be here with us today. You know, your participation is just vital as we all move forward together. This work has to be done together. This is about bringing people together. We can't lose sight of that. We've got to respect the land, the people, guided by Anishinaabe law. For Frontier, this announcement is a turning point. Our PAC Lithium project, located within the traditional lands of Treaty 5 First Nations, hosts one of North America's highest grade, large-scale hard rock lithium resources. It will feed our proposed lithium conversion facility in Thunder Bay, one of Canada's first, and anchor a domestic mine-to-battery supply chain here in Ontario. The benefits are substantial. Construction is expected to generate up to $1.5 billion in GDP, $125 million in tax revenues, and over 2,100 jobs. Once operating, it could add around $200 million in GDP annually and sustain nearly 1,000 long-term positions, delivering lasting opportunity for Northern Ontario and First Nations communities. So we commend the government's leadership with regards to infrastructure and the recent decision to strengthen the regional power grid that will support clean energy access and community growth across the north. Together, these actions create real momentum by cutting permitting timelines and strengthening coordination across ministries and Indigenous communities. Ontario is providing the certainty for companies like ours that need to invest, plan, and deliver responsibly. The One Project, One Process framework gives us the clarity to move forward with confidence and the responsibility to do it right. So at Frontier, we're ready to move forward in partnership, responsibly, collaboratively, and ambitiously, in partnership, to make Canada a lithium leader. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priya Tandon, President of the Ontario Mining Association, and it's really an honor to be here today among so many members of First Nation communities that work in partnership with Frontier Lithium. So thank you so much for being here today and for your support. I think it's a true testament to the genuine partnership that you have with Frontier Lithium. And this is a day of congratulations to many. It's our 47th annual Meet the Miners Day at Queen's Park, and what a significant time it is that government has made some announcements today in the morning supporting the Ring of Fire, thanks to Minister Rickford, and now through Minister Lecce's leadership announcing this wonderful step forward with Frontier Lithium and the One Project, One Process initiative. It's a huge step. So I would just like to thank Minister Lecce and all of your supporters, Minister Lecce, that you tend to bring to these announcements. It's a real significant symbol that this is a whole-of-government approach being brought to the One Project, One Process. So thank you to the parliamentary assistants and Minister Oosterhoff and Ministers Rickford and Minister Peary, because you're really showing that the One Project, One Process is only going to be successful if all ministries are engaged in making mining a strategic priority. So thank you very much. It's a great day for mining, and I look forward to the next steps.
That concludes today's announcement.
Just sorry, before we do that, could I just say two quick things? First off, I know Minister Rickford, you had a really exciting announcement this morning. Mr. Perry, if you have anything to share, I'd love for you to do so, because you have been at the cutting edge of leading reform in the province. So I want to give an opportunity to Mr. Perry. He's really done amazing work in this space. But before I do that, could I just thank all the public servants who are with us today, who are actually doing the work to make it happen? And happy birthday, John. Thank you so much. Now introduce Minister George Perry. Okay, please, sir. Putting you on the spot, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the opportunity. When you mentioned Musselwhite Mine, Placer Dome, I mean, that perhaps was the, and of course I was President and CEO of Placer Dome Canada, Musselwhite Mine. We did the agreements at that time that I thought were very, very progressive, and they're the testament of the deals that are the legacy or what we're doing right now across the north with Indigenous Affairs led by Minister Rickford. The template is there. It starts with dialogue. It starts creating with trust. And trust is only gained through dialogue. Trust is the hardest thing to get, and it's the easiest thing to lose. So we have to keep our word. We have to keep our word. And our ministry, led by the Premier, keeps their word. We are focused on the north and developing on the north and, of course, getting the minerals out of the ground as quickly as we possibly can with full partnership with the First Nations. And we know how to do that because we've done it on the ground with the private companies in full partnership with the First Nations. As you know, my legacy, the only continent I have never worked on is Antarctica. The bulk of my career was in mining, but the proudest legacy I have as a miner, as somebody that was Minister of Mines, is deals and agreements and partnerships like we have right here. This is today, this is the future.
Thank you, sir.
That's a wrap. Sweet.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Thank you all.